Welcome. Over the Top Podcast. It's your boy HD and the Over the Top Podcast crew. Hey guys, it's been a long time since we've been together. I miss you guys. I love you guys. Thank you for all our listeners from the radio and still follow us on Spotify and on your social media page. Hey, let's introduce the crew like always. Big Ron, what's going on, buddy?
Doing good. Can't complain.
Good stuff. So together with you. Q Dog, Q, what's going on with you? Not Q Dog, I'm sorry. Quentin, what's going on with you, Q? What's going on?
I'm about to say, call me a Q Dog, and y'all can't see, but I got all this Kappa stuff on. You trying to get me caught up.
No, sir, I would not never get you caught up, sir. I do apologize. What's going on with you? How things going your way?
I'm heartbroken from Monday night.
That was a tough one.
But Oregon won, so I'm okay.
Good stuff. Playmaker G, what's going on?
Hey man, I'm fabulous.
You fabulous. So we don't mention. I ain't mean to call him a Q Dog. No, I know you're a Kappa. So I give a shout out to all the fraternities. Of course, the Alpha men. You gonna get a shout out to your boys too, right?
He's talking to you, G.
He said boys. I didn't know.
I'm serious. Remember, you want to get a shout out to the Alphas. You can shout out to the Alpha. I'm sorry.
Yeah. We men. We not. Yeah, we deal with men.
My God, today.
And then we take a pause to what?
Hey, do we play Johnson C. Smith this year? And where do we play?
We play them every year. We play them here in Charlotte. No. We play them at home, I think. We play them at home.
I might specifically go to that game.
That might be a game I go to.
Hey, we're gonna put a W by SSU side on that one. That's a W.
Wanting a W? Wanting a D for
well, they get one win after 30 years, and it's just we don't
win.
That's
right.
I ain't gonna hold that.
Hey, check the record.
Nah, but everybody
y'all talking. That's how.
Congratulations. Hope you guys have a great year in school. To everybody, have a good year that you're going to school, first year student, 12th year student, whatever you're doing. Hope you guys have a great year. Divine 9, hope you have a great year. We got to vote. But anyway, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Last but not least, the lady of Over the Top Podcast, Miss Toia. What's the deal, lady?
What up, though? I'm good. I'm good, fellas. Hello, fellas.
I do have a question. We're gonna do the sports show tomorrow, but what's going on with the Giants?
Don't do that. What? After the loss you just had, don't do that. We know we stopped.
I got to bit up on somebody. Bit up on somebody.
What's going on with the Eagles?
Thank you, G.
There you go.
First off, I'm not taking no criticism from an analyst. He can't pick his own team. Second off, now I may be wrong. But was there a bet made between the Giants and Commanders game?
No. Was there? No. We didn't make it. We didn't make it. We were talking about it, but we didn't make it. But after the first game, because we talked about it during week 1. And then after that first game in week 1, I knew I'd even pick us to win in the pickups. So that part.
Interesting.
I picked the Commanders to beat us. I'm not
speaking of pick'ems. I'm leading again. Yeah, stop me. I will go back to back.
It's still early, sir. We got another race going on. Playmaker, what's your thoughts on the presidential elections so far, sir? It's been a roller coaster ride.
Oh yeah, it's been very interesting. It's a lot to take in. The debate was interesting. The issues have been interesting, different. It's just a lot to take in. I've been enjoying watching the political, not the political. I've been enjoying watching politics.
I mean, it's very interesting. We ride with Joe, and Joe couldn't quite make it, and so now we got Kamala, and she don't spark the flame. So Tonight, we're actually doing an Ask Toia show, which is wonderful. I love the Ask Toias. Hey, guys, thank you for sending them in. Continue to support us. We're just trying to do the best we can for the community and make it happen. But I know we got some stuff going on with the Ask Toia, so we're going to jump right on it. Hey, Toia, what's on deck for the first one?
Okay. Dear Toia, I just wanted to know the OTTP crew's opinion on the thought process of Trump. His response to this question seems to be the way he responds to a lot of questions. Keep pushing the vote. Signed, Drew.
This is Donald Trump's answer to the question. If you win in November, can you commit to prioritizing legislation to make childcare more affordable? And if so, what specific piece of legislation would you advance? That was the question. Here's Donald Trump's answer. Well, I would do that, and we're sitting down. We had Senator Marco Rubio and my daughter Ivanka were so impactful on that issue. It's a very important issue, but I think when you talk about the kind of numbers that I'm talking about, because look, childcare is childcare. It's something you have to have. In this country, you have to have it. But when you talk about those numbers compared to the numbers that I'm talking about by taxing foreign nations at levels that they're not used to, but they'll get used to fairly quickly, and it's not going to stop them from doing business with us, but they'll have a very substantial tax when they send project into our country. Those numbers are so much bigger than any numbers we're talking about, including childcare. Oh, we got back to childcare. That it's going to take care. I look forward to having no deficits within a fairly short period of time, coupled with the reductions that I told you about on waste and fraud and all the other things that are going on in our country, because I have to stay with childcare. I want to stay with childcare. But those numbers are small relative to the kind of economic numbers that I'm talking about, including growth, but growth also headed up by what the plan is that I just told you about. We're going to be taking in trillions of dollars, and as much as childcare, he said childcare again, is about being as expensive, it's relatively speaking not very expensive compared to the kind of numbers we'll be taking in. We're going to make this into an incredible that can afford to take care of its people, and then we'll worry about the rest of the world. That was an actual answer by the former president of the United States to how he would make childcare affordable. Make it make sense. Jesus, take the wheel. And please vote in the upcoming election. See you later. Peace.
Ron, I'm going with you, buddy. What's your thoughts?
Wow. Mine's a little bit left, and I'm gonna say that to tell you why. One of the things that concerns me is the toxic environment of the politics here in America, and the toxic nature of it, and what is admitting it, and what's on the line in this particular election cycle. What's really scary is we have a man that speaks incoherently to people and says things that are very crass and doesn't represent the best of us. Like when we look at Congress, we look at the Senate, and we look at the president, for the first time in my lifetime, I could really say that person in that office does not necessarily, some of the people that have run for that office in the last 2 cycles have not been the best amongst us, or best and brightest amongst us. And that's a concerning thing.
Kid, what's your thoughts?
As a fan of wrestling, I've seen this trope before. You got somebody that, hey, he talked good. It sounds good, but then when you actually listen, he's like, man, when y'all used to watch wrestling back in the day, and you had Hulk Hogan just scream. Speaking of Hulk Hogan just screaming, "Listen here, brother," and just yelling. Then when you go back and listen to it now, you're like, man, you ain't saying nothing. That's what it is right now, which is ironic because Donald Trump is in the WWE Hall of Fame. But yeah, that's what it is. It's a whole lot of insert city here, insert key quote here, and then your slogan, and then the crowd goes wild.
Good stuff, Playmaker. Your thoughts?
I like that, Q.
That's funny stuff, Playmaker. Your thoughts? That.
Yeah, I think Q is right on point. I mean, when I listen to Trump, I don't expect to hear nothing. So this is part of the course. I mean, this is what he's done ever since he's been into politics. He hasn't really said anything, but he's made some nice gestures and slogans and sold some shoes and some stuff like that. So it's what I expect to hear from him. Really nothing.
Hey,
Hey,
man, Trump be on TV joning, man. That's bad, bro. Like,
yo,
you gotta really.
But
Go ahead.
Ron, that's a that's a technique he used. So I don't know the answer. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna spin it, and the faster I can get you spinning and off the real focus on what you asked me, now we in left field. The guy asked the man about child care. Child care credit. He said, well, child care is bad. We need it, but it's not as important. These tariffs over here, they're gonna cost us a whole lot more money. What? We talking about child care. You talking about child and tariffs.
But
you spin it fast enough that people it's the illusion. It's the shiny thing. Why?
But it's also to keep up the fear tactic of immigration. It's also to keep that fear tactic of foreigners coming into the country by any means necessary.
But and it's dangerous too, though. Although we laugh about it, but that's he actually used it as a strategy. He had a name for it. I forgot the name for it. He had a name for it where what he'll do, he'll start off with one topic, but he'll spin it and spin off that topic to talk about another topic and what he want to talk about. So everything he gonna talk about what I want to talk about. I'm gonna spin you off. Toia, last thought. So anybody else want to add anything? We can circle around. Go ahead, Toia.
No, I agree. Like Quentin's analogy was the best. I agree with that totally. Thank you, Drew, for the question. We appreciate you. Let's want to go to the next question.
Yeah, we'll go to the next question. Anybody want to add? Well, you got anything to add to that? We good?
No, I just
the next. Go ahead.
Some aspects of it just concerns me that I think it's a slippery slope, and I think the cult of personality of Trump, God willing, hopefully we don't find anybody that's that charismatic to come along within the next 25 to 30 years. Because if they do, it's going to be bad. With what they've done in the Supreme Court, it would be interesting. But that's just a thought.
Okay. Next on deck.
Dear Toia, we are 2 months from election time, so we're a little bit less than 2 months now. History might be made if everyone shows up and shows out. Why do you think we still have people who refuse to vote? Signed, the Mitchells. And I don't think these people are related to me because I don't.
I say the Mitchells. If these people not voting,
they're not.
I got this one.
Go ahead, Q. You can start us off.
So you see what had happened was, when uneducated African American individuals listen to quote unquote educated Black individuals, and those individuals say, "Do your research. Voting doesn't matter anyway." Those white people don't vote. The uneducated listen to the uneducated who pretend to be educated, and they say, "Well, if they're not voting, I'm not voting." And those people are sheep, and sheep stay outside because inside is when we actually doing actual work.
Good stuff. Look at my dude. Go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. The other day I saw a post from an educated woman, which just happened to come up on my algorithm that I know this person kind of upset me. Like I'm at this point now in life where I feel like if you this type of person, I don't even think you should be on my Facebook friend list. But she said, what is the point? Y'all all talking about, oh, let's just vote for a Black woman and she does this and she does that. And when she gets into office, she's still not going to do things for Black people. And she's still not, this is all just a force. And there are educated Black people out here and white people who still believe this and don't understand politics like Quentin said. The job of the president is not just to do things for his people or her people, it's to do things for all people. And hopefully they do the right thing for all people. And also think about the history. If she does win, in January, you will have the first Black female president being put in by the first Black female Supreme Court justice on Martin Luther King Day. That's deep in itself.
So the one thing I like about what Kamala is doing, and you're right, and that's historic. And what people fail to understand the importance of imaging and representation. Imaging, when I say imaging, is what I mean by that is, and maybe I used the wrong word, or term. If I did, correct me. But what I mean by that is seeing yourself represented in certain areas or certain positions as a young Black male or a young Black female or a young Asian female or a young immigrant female, especially in this country that's been dominated by white men for the last 400 years, is still special. That's a special thing to do. And she's not necessarily running because she's the first Black, because Barack did that. She's running so she's not gonna embarrass not, but what it shows, it shows the discrimination didn't stop at the Black man, it stopped at the white woman, it stopped at the Asian woman, it stopped at the Indian woman and women. And so when you put those into factors, the image of a young Black girl that's in third grade who may be a little awkward, who don't think she have a future, can see her as, man, she made it as the president, who is one of the top leaders in our country. What can I do? So I think image is extremely important. What I do love what Kamala do, she's not running on necessarily a vote for me because I'm a Black woman. Vote for me because I got some stuff that need to get done. Vote for me because we don't need this other guy in the office no more. Vote for me because this is what we need to do going forward. So I think, and you hit on the head. So it is historic, but I think it's a deeper meaning in that. I think we're just tired of the status quo. Like I said, a white man been running this country for the last 440 years, and I think now it's time for a change in venue. What do you think about that, Q?
Black people need to understand. First off, I understand your concerns may be, well, what's you gonna do for us? Like Toya said, it's a whole country. We are still the minority, even though we need help. We're still a minority. So will she help us? Yes. Is she gonna help us probably as much as y'all think she's going to? No, because y'all expectations are way too high. How about this? Vote for women because the other person said we're gonna give police immunity for killing y'all in the first place. How about let's break it down to the basic fundamentals. One person wants you dead, the other person is at least going to try.
Playmaker, your thoughts, man.
There it is.
So can I get a repeat of the question, because I want to make sure I'm answering the right question.
The question was, why do you think people still refuse to vote? That our people are still refusing to vote.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I went off on a tangent. I do apologize.
Well, no, it's fine. I just wanted to make sure I was, my interpretation of the question was correct. So, I mean, I think part of it is the voting system is a little bit confusing when you talk about the popular vote and the electoral college. And I think some people don't quite understand that, so they think that their votes doesn't matter because it's already been pre-decided who's going to be the next president, and that voting is just a formality, but it doesn't really make the decision. So I think you have some people just confused on how the whole process works. I think you also have some voter suppression at work. So people, if I can convince you that your vote doesn't count, then I've won. So I think you have a little bit of aspects of voter suppression, a little people not quite understanding the voting process and how voting works. And then I think you have some people who think it doesn't really matter who's in office because the office of president doesn't really move the needle one way or the other. So I think that's why you have so many people who are not interested in voting, but it's just yeah, those are just the things that I've kind of come across in my talking with different people.
RJ, what's your thoughts? Good point, playmaker. RJ, what's your thoughts?
There's some schools of thought where people in masses don't believe in voting because they don't believe in participating in the process. And the process in and of itself is a lot of times for us as African Americans making the lesser of two evils, selecting the lesser of two evils. So I think that's systemically a lot of where African Americans have been, and some of the people that I know that choose not to vote. That's one of their stronger and more particular reasons. But I'm a firm believer that you should vote. Given the fact that they want to do everything that they can to limit your voice, it's important that you show up. So, yeah.
Good stuff, good stuff. And I'm gonna piggyback a little bit because I know, and you hear me say it on the show a lot of times. I still think they're two fangs of the same snake. That don't mean we don't get that and vote. I think, and I said this last year. Actually, I think we've been hoodwinked of thinking that getting the bag is the prize. No, becoming educated, voting for election, running for office, the political realm is the power to the prize because they're the one that make the laws that we got to abide by. And if we don't choose to abide by those laws, the voting is the one that chooses your sheriffs. Your sheriff's the one that chooses that hires the police officers that pulls you over and beats you up on the side of the road because they don't care about you. I mean, it's a domino effect when we come to voting. So although I may say there are two fangs of the same snake, and I would believe that, and I want to address because I've been hearing a lot of our brothers talking about we will get off the Democratic slave plantation, but I don't know if it's one of our questions. But I want to address that before we get off this thing tonight, and I can tell you when I'm gonna get off it. But anyway. The point is voting is extremely important because voting is what governs your laws and abides by you. 300 and something billion people in this world, I think on half of this country votes. On half of this country votes. I don't know if that's due different issue, like Gary said, voting suppression. But I think the voting is extremely important, especially in your local elections. So, Toya, what's your thoughts?
I was going to say the same things. Like the presidency is a big vote, of course, but the votes that truly, truly make a difference are the ones in your local elections, in your state elections. I plead to all North Carolina voters. Y'all need to vote.
But that guy y'all got in North Carolina, boy, that governor there, but that guy, he's something. What's your boy name? Mark Robbins?
Yes.
No, boy, he's something now.
This is not what we need. We do not need this. We do not need this. But yes, like you said, when it starts from the smallest elections, like your sheriff vote, your the police vote, your mayor, your congressmen, your representatives, your senators. These are the votes that matter because these are where laws are changed. I mean, y'all need to go back to School of Rock.
School superintendents. We need to start voting from the beginning, dude.
So that you can be educated.
So you know what's going on.
I take it a step further. Just go up from vote for your class president. Some people don't even vote for that. So start from those.
I know this
class president. At least start somewhere.
I know we talking about voting and we talking about not many school superintendent. I did tongue in cheek, but the state of South Carolina, they haven't approved of a school curriculum of Prager U University. Hey guys, if you don't know what Prager U University is about,
we did a show about it.
You better do your research because the state of South Carolina just approved them as being an actual curriculum for that K1 through K7. You may want to do your research, guys.
They're taking our,
really?
They're
taking our history away.
Yeah, they're going to erase
South
our
Carolina's
history so far.
Because South Carolina's superintendent, when she got voted in, she didn't have her degree yet.
Oh wow! Oh wow! Okay.
Oh wow! Okay.
I don't know that because I had to do an assignment on that.
Oh, that's.
She didn't have her degree. She was still at but the degree the place she got it from afterwards, Bob Jones.
Oh well.
For anybody in South Carolina, for anybody who don't know about Bob Jones.
Bobby Jones history is just as racist as the Mayflower. But Ron, I'm gonna get off television. Ron, when we gonna get off this Democratic slave plantation, sir? Where you gonna jump off the boat?
Hey man, I think one of the dopest things that happened during the last election cycle was Ice Cube tried to present a thought process that's a little different than what we've particularly been abreast to. And it's not been attempted since the days of the old NAACP, which is negotiating our voting blocks for some tangible things in our community. And most people trade their votes for functional things that impact them in a positive way in their community. What have we seen in the way of some of these votes that we've made that create some tangible gains that we can look to? And I'm talking like since the 60s, 70s. What tangible things have we seen that if you really ask yourself that, I'm not opposed to voting Democratic, but I want to see tangible policies coming forward. Like, okay, yeah, child tax credit, yeah, that's good, but that once rise the tide floats all boats, okay. But when we can't even get an anti-lynching law put in place.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's in the political sphere. And a lot of that is due to economics. And the one thing that's really crazy is, pause. We have a few billionaires that are really wealthy here in this country. Why aren't they promoting those issues, those agendas?
Hey, Democrats, I'm with you. I'm on board this year because we got a tyrant. We got to get it. We can't let the tyrant behind the wheel.
Here's my issue. Y'all all want to say, man, let's get off Democratic plantation now. When hop off it, and then let Trump make everything a plantation.
That's what
we're saying. That's what we're saying.
That's my point, Quentin. Hey, Democrats, I'm riding strong with you now because we got a tyrant we can't get in. But guess what, guys? Since 2020, we still got the George Floyd Act on the table collecting dust.
We have a question about that. We do have a question.
Okay. We also had the John Lewis voting deal on the table collecting dust.
I'll pose a question to you, and this is a deeper thought. I want y'all to think about that. Think about this. Part of the institution of racism or slavery is the institution or installation of fear. What's driving our vote?
Fear.
Wait a minute, you jump in there. I'm
just posing a question.
But we just talked about that too. No, but didn't we just say it's that fear tactic that keeps them wanting to?
But what I'm saying
is that fear tactic of having that, not wanting to go back, that it has us where we are right now, like you said.
But let me get Let me get G in there. What you think about that play?
Well, I'm gonna go back to the original question about jumping off the ship, and also tie back into what Ron was saying as far as being a voting bloc, and this also ties back into one of our previous shows when we were talking about the Black Panther Party and the list of things that we were that the Black Panther Party was demanding.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know in today's society, because we're a voting bloc. We're not all interested in the same things politically. So I don't think that if you go to I don't think it's very hard or very challenging to get that black vote nowadays, because we are so divided and have different interests that it's before we would vote regardless of our position, we would vote based off our people, not necessarily our personal gain. Now we're voting off our personal gains and not necessarily for our people.
Good point. Good point. Toya, then he ground. You can finish up. Toya, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Ron. No, I was agreeing with Ron when he was saying the fear. It's that fear tactic. It's that what we live in, of not wanting to be a certain thing. And then on the other side, it's that fear tactic that he uses constantly to get his votes. And I agree with G, because at one point we voted because we were voting within the community. We were together and we stood together. And now we've been so conditioned and entitled that we all have things that we wanted back then. And now our generation has these things and we want more things. And so that's why we can't stand together. If we did have that Black Panther mentality that was back then, or that civil rights mentality, and we were still together, imagine
a 10-point plan for destruction. Yes. You get the last word.
All come up with that as a people.
I will say this to you.
You get the last word, Ron. Then we go next question.
I will say this to you to touch on what you just said. I'm gonna heard a brother say this, and so I'm gonna say alleged. Ziggy Brzezinski, who was Mika Brzezinski's father, had, during the Carter administration, had a meeting and talked about aspects of things that were impacting America at that time. And one of those aspects was the fear of Black unity. And what he said was that Blacks in America and Africans in Africa cannot, under any set of circumstances, unite and come together and formulate those things. So all the way back since Marcus Garvey, there was a thought process of Pan-Africanism and the thought process of pulling and melding those philosophies together to create that. So when you start talking about unity, that core issue has always been attacked from a number of different ways through a number of different avenues. It goes back so far, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm trying not to get too off into a rabbit hole. One of my favorite shows is Snowfall. There was a gentleman in Snowfall who was the inspiration for Unc in the show. He was a blood. You know what his job was and what he was tasked by the government to do in our community? To make sure that the Black Panthers didn't get a foothold in Compton. See, the biggest thing for us is we tend to be our own worst enemy. And that's what has to be called out. And then that's where it has to be a situation where, even though that person he or she becomes an enemy, we have to learn how to either segregate them and isolate them to the point that they are not a part of our larger issue, or bring them in and functionally monitor them and support them as it's almost like Drop Zone the movie.
Yeah.
Because I have this conversation and debate with one of my friends oftentimes, and he sat here and told me something today. I don't need to understand. What you mean you don't need to understand? The Bible tells you in all things seek understanding. So if you don't understand something, then how are you going to speak about it? Stop talking about stuff out of ignorance. That's the real core issue.
Yes.
The real core issue is that people are not abreast of the issues. And what you're dealing with is a group of people, and I ain't just talking about Black folk, I'm talking about that are completely, consistently overwhelmed and mentally sicker than ever before. And they don't have the mental acuity or clarity through education and understanding to navigate a lot of this foolishness.
Facts. Interesting. Go ahead, T. We keep pushing.
So my next question is kind of a dope question.
Good
so, dear
stuff,
Toya, I was wondering if you and the Overtop crew wouldn't mind explaining voting laws in North Carolina, Georgia, and Virginia. We're going to add South Carolina. You have listeners in those states who might need to know what they need to have, where they need to vote, and about early voting. So I have played your show in my classroom, and these are some of the questions my students want to know. Thank you for educating the community the way that you do. It is truly appreciated. Signed, Dr. Akil Forrester. That's so dope. That's just so dope.
From the top to Dr. to Forrester.
Yeah, Akil Forrester.
Akil Forrester. We humbly thank you. Thank you for spreading our message to your children. Thank you for seeing value in what we do and what we bring to express to your students. We definitely don't take that for granted, and we definitely appreciate it. It really is dope stuff. So I do a dope shit. I'm saying. So I do thank you for that. Let me get started. Let me get started with South Carolina. I got some information for you. So you can register online if you don't have a voter registration, you can register online. It requires South Carolina ID. If you have moved, you must first update your residential address first, and you do online registration. My information is coming from SouthCarolinaVote.gov election committee. If you want to register by mail, email, fax, download vote registration, complete it, and return it to your county board. Voting registration by mail, fax, or email. Or you can register in person. Find your county offices. Just a little more information for your home. Hoping this helping you out a little bit. Let me scroll down a little bit. So who can register? No, hold on. Let me do this one. Hold up. A little bit of reading. Voter registration. Just go online, get the voter registration card. If you don't have that, you don't need that. Who can register to vote? You must be 18 or older, of course, a resident of South Carolina, not be under any court order, so they can vote. You need to have your valid address. When can you start? 30 days. You must be registered at least 30 days before the election. I'm trying to think, did I miss anything? Told you, did I miss anything?
No.
Or convicted felon. Any person who has been convicted of a felon or offense against the election laws is not qualified to register or to vote unless disqualification has been removed by the service of sentencing unless sooner pardoned. Service of sentence, including any person in jail or not. I read that part because one of the guys running is a convicted felon. He's running for the office. Instead of South Carolina.
Can he vote? Can he vote?
Well, you can't vote for him, but he's running.
That's a good question. Can he vote for himself?
Not in the state of South Carolina, he can't.
No, I think it not until his sentencing is complete. He's convicted. Okay. I think it might be the sentencing part of it might be. So yeah.
No.
All right. So
that's a little information of South Carolina.
I can go next. Okay.
Ron's got Georgia.
All right. I'm doing Georgia. Important Georgia voting information. Essentially, important dates: general election, president, U.S. Congress, state, Senate offices, Tuesday, November the 5th, 2024. The polls open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. In Georgia, we have to be specifically intentional about voting because last year they shut down a lot of voting places and polls. So make sure that you're intentional and you get out. You have to register by Monday, October the 7th, which is the last day for voter registration here. Early voting starts Tuesday, October 15th, 2024, Friday. And I'm assuming it goes through November the 1st, 2024. Weekend voting, Saturday, October the 19th, and Sunday, October the 20th. Saturday, October the 26th, Sunday, October the 27th. Absentee ballots, Friday, October the 25th, last day for them to be accepted. Tuesday, November the 5th, election day. Ballots must be received by the county that you're in. Checklist, confirm your registration status. See what's on your ballot. Look up the voting site or request the absentee ballots. See ID requirements. Exercise your rights. Track the status of your ballot. Report voting issues. And it's essentially saying know your rights, be clear in what you're doing, and the ID requirement. When voting in person in the election, you will be asked to present one of the following items: a Georgia valid driver's license, any valid state or federal ID issued photo, a valid U.S. passport, valid U.S. military identification, valid tribal ID, valid employee ID from any branch, department, agency, or entity of the federal government, Georgia, local federal government, or other entity of the state. A free voter identification card is issued to any registrar or registrar's office or Department of Driver Services office. So get out and vote and report any issues.
All right,
Good
so
good stuff.
That's good. Like that free voter, you can get a voter ID for the state of Georgia. That's different. Maybe a lot of people didn't know that. So for North Carolina, the North Carolina Black Alliance has created a platform, and the website is safevotemc.org. Early voting starts on October 11th. I'm sorry. So you have to be registered by October 11th. So that's the deadline to register to vote. You can register online. October 17th, one-stop in-person voting begins, and it ends November 2nd at 3 p.m. Here in North Carolina, you can vote on Saturdays and Sundays. We always have a stroll to the polls after church during early voting on Sunday. I think each county does that has NAACP. October 29th at 5 p.m. is the deadline for absentee ballot request forms to be received by the county BOE. November 5th, of course, is election day, and the polls close at 7:30 p.m. To vote in the state of North Carolina, you have to have a valid ID, photo ID, when voting. So you have to have, this started last year, I think. Before you didn't have to have an ID, but now you have to have. If you vote by mail, registered North Carolina voters may request to receive and vote using a mail-in absentee ballot in most elections. And so that is it for North Carolina. Virginia. You got Virginia, Quentin?
I do.
Okay.
But first, for the people who's watching, he's probably gonna put this on in the classroom. I would need all the students to pull out their phones, go on Instagram, and follow me, Q Dawg King. That is at QDAWKING. Follow me.
Hey, okay. Hey, early. I didn't do early voting for South Carolina. I'm Jamaican. I do apologize. Early voting begins on Monday, October 21st. On the Saturday, November 2nd. It's closed October 22nd. Early voting centers are open 8:30 to 6 p.m. during the early voting period. And if you go on that website again, with South Carolina's election website to give you all the information you need. I'm sorry, Toya, I didn't get that back in.
That's okay. Go ahead, Q.
I'm not looking at this and realize you sent me. There it is. So little bit of key dates for Virginia. September 20th is early in-person voting. October 15th is the deadline to register or change your voter registration. October 25th, deadline to request an absentee ballot. And November 5th is, that is, well, for us, it's a good thing. For some people, it may be D-Day. So you may need to go out and vote.
So basically, I think the questions are when, for the most part, which we all discussed, your early voting, because I know a lot of college kids like to early vote, and also have to use absentee ballots. I can't remember how we voted when we were in college. Actually, the first time I voted, I think I did vote in North Carolina, but I used an absentee ballot for the state of New Jersey, and my parents sent it in for me.
Right. But whatever you get, guys, go vote. Take a friend with you. Take a partner with you. Go vote. We used to say just vote, but you know who to vote for this time. We ain't got to point fingers. I don't know.
I just think, Dr. Forrester, thank you so much. I think this is the highest form of compliment that we've gotten, that you use our show as lessons in your class. I appreciate that. That's just dope to me. That's just really
That's dope.
Can I add in something really quick before we move on?
I'm so sorry.
No. So I guess with all the information that was presented, I think the main takeaway is to have a plan, to have a voting plan, whether you're voting early, whether you're going the day of, whatever your plan is, have a plan in place, and make sure you check your status way before you attempt to go vote, just to make sure you're not an inactive voter or anything of that nature. And last but not least, let's take some time and prepare to vote. So know who you're voting for, and just don't Christmas tree this thing. It's too important not to spend the time to know who and what you're voting for.
And I think we're less than 50 days out, guys. So that's really home in on what we're doing and be very intentional and what we're doing. That's what we need to do. Go ahead, T. The floor is yours.
So we got one more question. Dear Toya, first let me say my wife and I absolutely love your show. Sorry the show isn't on the station anymore, but glad we can still listen on Spotify and YouTube. This clip came on my timeline and I thought of you and what, oh no, I'm sorry, y'all. My bad. I skipped the question. But we could go back. I'm sorry. But okay, I thought this clip came on my timeline and I thought of you and wanted to know your response. Keep up the amazing work you are doing. I see great things in OTTP's future. Signed, we not going back.
Play that clip. Play the clip, Toy. Just play it. Play the clip.
Oh, wait a minute. I didn't have it set up.
I know. Play the clip. We got time. We got time. We got time.
You got me all messed up. Sorry.
Hey man. We have to make it happen. Gotta make it happen. So, Ron, why Toya getting a clip, Makita? What are the main takeaways you seeing right now in this election? What are the main keys that we need to home in on as a community?
I don't think it's bad that we challenge each other, because there's a lady that said that, but I think that in challenging people, you need to have valid functional arguments and be willing to have that same argument with some functional stance. And the one thing that I really feel like too, I think these political campaigns need to engage the people. Like, they're not affording them opportunities to do that. I know why Kamala is doing what she's doing, because of the energy and because they always paint female candidates as the angry woman. It's not necessarily exclusive to Black women, but they did that with Hillary too. They made her look really bad. But she just doesn't have the personality that Kamala has. Kamala is a lot better at relating and coming across.
Okay. Toya, play the clip.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you fine.
Trying to get the sound. Because my screen is
You got to click that. You got to click
He took it one
down the bottom.
Fuck
There
a
we go.
step. He took one leap further. I need y'all to listen to this shit, bro.
Byron said that place. Superstar of the future. He's already a superstar, but he's a superstar of the future. Byron Donalds, Florida. Wow, that's nice to have you here. That's good. He's great. He's great. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. That one is smart. You have smart ones and you have some that aren't quite so good. But we have a group of
Byron Donalds, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, he's one of the smart ones. You have smart ones and you have ones that aren't quite so good. What the fuck? I need somebody to bet me right now. Over or under 2 weeks, he's dropping the N-bomb. The way the crowd was looking, bro, you could tell what they wanted to say. He could have introduced you any other way. But nah, hey y'all, I know y'all don't like Negroes, but he's the smart one. Like, get the fuck. And what did you do, Byron? You activated that coon chip and got on that stage, you fucking idiot. This is sad, bro. He just called you a good boy in front of everybody. At this rate,
So, so the question. Hey, G.
Hey, G.
What do you
think? What's your thoughts, man?
She didn't get the question out.
The question is,
she did.
They wanted to know. I thought of you when they wanted to know your response. They want to know our response on this video, on this clip.
So short answer is, once again, and I guess I've been a little bit immune to some of these type things. I mean, you see it all the time when they pan the crowd. They got a couple of people standing right in the back so they can highlight, you know, they got a melting pot of people's support. And they highlight those. We saw it in Georgia with Herschel. I mean, it's just a lot. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. I'm not surprised by it. I think the guy, I'm not sure the name of the guy who was doing the commentary. I think he was right, spot on. But you know, I'm not surprised. It's just what you see this time of year.
Q, what's your thought? I'm gonna run it back. What's your thoughts, Q?
You know, when Trump said that right there, that's one of the smart ones. You got some smart ones and some not so smart ones. You know what I thought of? I thought, you know what? One, he's right, but not in this case. But also, I think the same thing when it comes to these presidential candidates. We got a smart one, and we got a not so smart one. Okay. I'm thinking we're on the same page on this one, except yeah, you ain't the smart one. Mine not so good, sir.
Okay. All right, Jay.
Is muted.
You're muted, sir.
Repeat the question real quick. The brief component of it.
It was just, what's your thoughts on that clip?
I mean, it's a simple take, man. The dude just spoke to certain aspects of things that needed to be addressed. And I think one of the things that's scary is the lack of pride that Byron Donald has in himself. And a lot of what I see with these people that bow at the feet of Trump, they really do it. It's almost like, I hate to say this, but it's almost like the enemy. Like when you do bad things to people at times, a lot of good stuff don't come out of it for you. So yeah, it's bad though. He emasculates them dudes too. It's just bad.
It's bad, but you see a lot of black men looking to vote for Trump. You see a lot of black men that's on that bandwagon for Trump. And I'm trying to figure out what's the connection, and maybe I'm missing it. So maybe somebody's please explain it to me. But you see this all the time. But the way he, as much as these black men are loyal to him, he lets you know you still got a place, dog. You still don't have a seat at the table. He's one of the good ones. He's one of the smart ones. The Republican Party has been looking for the great black hope since Barack. You can't find and they've been jumping on that bandwagon. But this shows you what he really think about you. He's one of the smart ones. Like everybody else is dumb, but I like him. He's a good old boy. He's a good old boy.
No, it's so crazy. It's during the debate when Kamala broke down all the racist things he's done. He basically literally said to her, "Why are you bringing up old shit?" He didn't say, but literally that was his response. When she talked about the Central Park 5 and she talked about him happening, he was like, she had to go all the way back. So basically he's like, why are you bringing up old shit when you talking about me? Like, that's old, but it's literally not old. It's right here in your face. And for the fact that he said it and then Byron spoke.
Yeah, like yes, sir.
Like this okie doke Negro, and y'all know I wanted to say something else, but
we got one in South Carolina. Timmy Scott is his name.
In Florida, from Florida, a representative of Florida of all states. See, you always got that one Florida man every day. It's a Florida man. It's just. I don't get it, but
I thought one time he called Tim old because he's a good old boy. That's what I love. What?
Basically, that is what it was. So we have one last question that I missed, and I apologize for that. Which is, dear Toya, a lot of Republicans have endorsed their support for Kamala Harris. Do you guys think that she really has a chance to become the first woman president? And if she does, do you foresee a change in the political climate of America? Signed, Tracy.
Your thoughts? Ron, your thoughts?
I'm on first again. God damn.
I'm sorry.
I can go first.
You go first, Toya. We go first, Toya. I mean to feed you again. Go first.
So we touched on this in another question when we were talking about Democrats and Republicans, but we are literally seeing a lot of Republicans, especially since the debate, but even before the debate, endorse her. When you have Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney, when you have Dick Cheney, one of the good old boys, say he is not voting, that he has endorsed her, that says a lot. You have a lot of it speaks of how tired folks are of the BS and really don't want to do it again, that Republicans are crossing the eye over to endorse her. I feel like that says a lot. Now, do I see a change in the political climate? I think right now the thought is we don't want this person anymore. We don't want to deal with any more of this. This is a shit show, and we're tired of it. And so, will there be a change? Maybe, maybe not. I think we'll still be in the same place as far as once everything settles down, then the work has to begin to make a change.
Okay, Q, go ahead.
So the enemy of my enemy is someone who will vote for the right way for the first time in your life. Because there are people, specifically, and I was posed specifically to one famous person's wife. I'm sure everyone's heard of Brittany Mahomes. She recently said, and this could be fake news, this could be true news, but knowing her and the Mahomes family as a whole, this is probably true. When Taylor Swift said, "I'm voting for Kamala Harris," and Trump, in all facets of the word, said, "F that white woman," he might. I think that might have been what he said. I forget what he said. It was on Twitter. Okay, the noise just went crazy. That was at that moment where Brittany Mahomes said, "You know what? Maybe Trump is a bad guy. It wasn't all the felonies. It wasn't the racism. It wasn't the sexism. It wasn't the other felonies. It wasn't the many businesses he's ran into the ground. It wasn't any policies that he has or hasn't said. It's because he said he's not a fan of Taylor Swift.
Hey, anything move the needle. Quick, acute. I mean, play me. I'm coming to it this one, man. I'm gonna adjacent the question a little bit. I'm gonna add to the question a little bit. You got some of our men or some of our voters feel that a woman shouldn't be president. She shouldn't hold that certain office. Well, what are your? I mean, I know for me, because my mother, I grew around strong working women who always worked and excel. So I don't think that I know they can get the job done, but it's a subset of our population feel that women shouldn't be in that responsible role. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I do think there's a lot of guys who fall into that area, men and women, who believe that women have certain roles or certain limitations. Me personally, I don't believe in that, but I mentioned in one of the previous shows that I had someone argue me down, even present to me in the Bible where a woman is not supposed to be in a position of leadership. So, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Everybody's entitled to their vote. So that's what makes a democracy so powerful, is that everybody has their right to choose based off whatever reason they want to. So, yeah.
Respond to that, RJ. Made it good or bad. I don't know if it's good or bad. Respond to that. Let's see what they respond to that.
Refresh me on the question, man. I'm slipping in the darkness right now.
Well, no, well, we subjected the question. We adjacent the question. I as playmaker, it's a subset of our community to feel that Kamala as a woman should not hold such an important office. Now, now that women's not good enough, or the notion that they're not smart enough, educated enough to hold that office. What are your thoughts on that? I know Toya thoughts. She over there. I'm gonna come back to. I can see the steam coming off for
I got to answer that too.
But go ahead. Let RJ get in first. You go ahead, Q. Go ahead, RJ.
I think one of the things that you got to really look at is here in America, and some aspects of that Eurocentric mindset is a high level of patriarchy. However, man, that doesn't necessarily affirm whether you're capable of doing the job or not. I've met some females that are great leaders. And in terms of if we're looking for things that are biblical, which is some interesting stuff that I hear here, I have a debate with one of my friends about this. If being gay or people being a female is a disqualifying factor is foolish. And I think that's a core concern for a lot of these people, man. They afford themselves to be in that space. But if you look at the Bible, there was a judge in the Bible, and her name was Deborah. And she sat and held court under the tree, just like Moses, when they instituted those laws. So if you look at it, women have been in leadership positions. Women have been judges. Afford her the opportunity to have the ability to fail at it. That's the one thing that I hate to say it, most Caucasian men are given, that opportunity to fail.
Oh my God!
If we're looking like we're gonna fail, then it's a problem. Like even up to Joe Biden, looking at Joe Biden, everybody can see that he was capable until he wasn't. But most people knew that he wasn't. But anybody of a minority descent wouldn't necessarily got that same thing. Bernie Sanders can't even get on the ballot.
Right.
And he clears the bail. Sharp dude. Still to this day. I think he older than Biden, or right around the same age.
I think they're the same age.
By the same age. Toya, this lady been lawyer. She's been California district attorney. California. I'm missing some roles. She was attorney, district attorney. What was the last role in California?
Attorney General.
Attorney General.
Senator.
Vice
Vice President.
But these people still say she's not qualified. Is that a dog whistle? You answer that one. You can hear it. I threw you a softball playmaker. I threw a hand pitch on that one playmaker. It might be a softball. There's no softball.
You literally
I better get that same question.
You ran down all of her resume, and her resume already tells you what she can do. But because she's a woman, you know,
she's not qualified.
She's not qualified because, you know, we're strong. She's not qualified, but in my eyes, she's qualified.
She had more experience than for the last 4 presidents. This woman had more experience than.
She got more experience than who she running against.
The DEI.
Yeah, that part.
DEI at its finest. There you go.
DEI. Oh, playmaker. Oh yeah, I'm gonna jump on you with this one because hold up, Quinn. I'm gonna get you in. What you want to say? I ain't mean to cut you out. Go to you, kid. What's your thoughts?
So I would say, on top of all the stats you gave her, you must remember she also graduated from an HBCU.
She did.
Yes. According to her at the whatever that was last week, she didn't come from the richest household. She had to struggle. So you're telling me that you got someone who literally pulled themselves up from their bootstraps and then rose through the ladder, and now she's at the pinnacle, and you want to say, nah, she ain't done enough yet? Respectfully, I hope every one of y'all who says she does not have the credentials, or she just can't do it flat because she's a woman, I hope all the wheels on your car become deflated.
Boy, you silly. You silly.
I don't want them. No, I don't want them. I don't want them slashed. I want them deflated, and you have to go to your nearest store to pump air in the tire.
What?
Playmaker, you've been in the corporate world. What was how and you mentioned to me, and I didn't think it was that deep, but until you really start putting that scale back. How deep was her being a DEI hire? Was that a smart move by the Republican Party to throw that out there? Was that smart?
I mean, in my opinion, I thought that was a slap in the face, not only to just Black women, but just to Black people and even white women, because that term has always been used to kind of say, hey, we're just putting somebody there just because we got to meet our quota. And people that have been wrongly identified in those areas, I think were offended by that term. So I thought it was a very poor choice in words when he made that statement.
Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Toya, you got the last word on it, and we can wrap it up.
Well, first I wanted to say thank you, everybody, for all the political questions. That means that we are all engaged in this political battle, that we're all ready to get out and vote, because that's what we need to do. And of course, all questions, if you guys have any questions, please hit me up at AskToia, Toia74@gmail.com, and Ask Toia on Facebook, or Toia L on TikTok, TOIAEL.
Hey guys, we're gonna have something special coming on to the listeners that send us emails. We've been off the air, so we're trying to get it back started, but we're gonna have some special events and shows we're trying to plan to come up for those who are exclusive to our email base and our news, email letter, email chain, Ask Toia. So we're gonna try to do something special. Hey guys, thank you for listening to us. Thank you for supporting us. We're gonna go around table. RJ, last words.
Brother Mark, I'm paraphrasing. Brother Marcus Garvey said, "The tree is only as strong as its roots." What are you rooted and connected to?
Good stuff. Q, last words.
You know, my last words is me giving y'all stats and y'all figuring out if this player a Hall of Famer. So are you ready for this one?
Okay, come on.
All right, this player's stats. And this is for football because I don't know if I'm going to be on the show tomorrow. This person has 3 Pro Bowls. He is a Super Bowl champion. He has 641 receptions, over 11,000 receiving yards, and 58 touchdowns. And played for 6 different teams.
No. He won a chip.
He won a chip.
1 championship.
3-year Pro Bowl. How many Pro Bowls?
3-time Pro Bowls. 3 times.
And
no, 3-time Pro Bowls.
Yeah, he in the league. He in the hall. He in the hall. For me, in the hall. Playmaker in the hall.
It's hard to say. But when he when he got the Super Bowl, was he a starter? Or was he just one of the guys on the roll? I mean, there's a lot of things.
That is numbers. What was his numbers again, Quentin?
But how long was he in the league?
600. Well, he played 183 games, 641 receptions, over 11,000 receiving yards, 58 touchdowns.
Hey, he got some miles on him. Run, he in the hole.
And he played
it sound like it sounds close to me. He said 16. He was Devin Hester or Brian Mitchell.
We didn't say it was a returner.
Who is it, Q?
This player, he was a returner. But he had one of the best returns ever, actually. This is Deshaun Jackson.
About to say, is it Deshaun Jackson?
Deshaun Jackson.
Say it.
Hey, Deshaun don't make the hall.
He played 6 teams.
He played 16. And arguably one of the best deep ball threats in the league. Look it up.
At one time, he was a beast. Now, good stuff.
I think he either has a record or he's tied with most 50+ yard receptions or touchdowns.
You don't think he's a Hall of Famer? You don't think Deshaun Jackson's a Hall of Famer?
Apparently, I'm not the only person.
Hey, but you know what though? That dude, he put numbers up. He changed how team defended his team too, and that's what great wide receivers do. So,
don't get me wrong. He was a good player, great player, but I mean, like Dion said, you can't have everybody sitting in the hall. Then you got to open up a patio for special players.
For the special players, that's right. Last word, playmaker.
He don't deserve a last word.
In fact, end the show right here, right there. End it.
Go ahead, play.
And keeping with the spirit of election and voting, I'll say 2 things. One, have a voting plan. So know your status before you get there. Have a plan when you're going to vote. All of that stuff. Be prepared for long lines if you're in certain areas. And then the second thing I would say is, download a sample ballot before you get there. Do some research. Kind of know what's going on. Just don't go in there and Christmas tree this thing and guess because his last name Johnson and my cousin's last name is Johnson. I'm gonna vote for a Johnson. Make sure you have a plan and know who you vote for.
That's right. Don't vote for a Robinson just because you think his last name
Robinson. Yeah.
Don't do that.
Our skin folk ain't kin folk.
However, I will say, if you're an AKA, you better vote for the AKA.
Well, you divine 9, you better vote for Miss Kamala. Kappa Alpha, Psi Alpha, Phi Alpha.
There are divine 9 that are
everybody. Toya, last words.
I'm gonna stick to the voting too. North Carolina, man, y'all better get out here and vote, and vote the right way. Like G said, don't just go in there and look at names. Print out a ballot and do your research on who's running here, especially for your governor. Please don't take us back.
Good stuff. Hey guys, and the theme is vote. I'm related to Tyree Hill got pulled over by police. Did he comply? Did he comply? We don't know. He still got he still got the hand. He still got treated like most black men treated in this country. But guess what? We can change. We can vote in the sheriff of our county, and then we can determine how our policemen police our communities. The power and is the vote. The hoodwink to start the power was the money. Money, not the power. The money just have you doing fun stuff and keep you blinded to the real issues. South Carolina this morning, I just saw the news. PragerU is gonna be in the curriculum. Hey guys, let's wake up. Let's wake up. But anyway, hey guys, thanks for joining. I hope the conversation was great. Hope you got something from it. And like always, guys, when your next move be the game changer. Peace.